What happens to the places the world leaves behind? Do the walls remember the laughter, the arguments, the everyday lives that once filled them? Tonight, we journey into the shadows of 15 abandoned places where no one dares to live. Turn down the lights, grab a blanket because things are about to get weird. Our first stop is perhaps the most infamous ghost city on the planet, Pripyat, Ukraine. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl disaster turned this thriving city into a radioactive wasteland overnight. Next, we sail to Hashima Island, nicknamed Battleship Island for its fortress-like appearance. Once the most densely populated place on Earth, it was abandoned overnight when the coal ran out in 1974. Welcome to Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town that's been literally burning for over 60 years. An underground coal fire ignited in 1962 still burns today, making the town uninhabitable. Some places are left abandoned by design as permanent reminders of tragedy. In 1944, Nazi forces massacred 642 residents. The village remains untouched as a memorial to the dead. In Namibia's desert, the ghost town of Kolmanskop is being beautifully consumed by sand. Once a wealthy diamond mining town, it's now a surreal monument to nature's power to reclaim our creations. In California's High Sierra sits Bodie, a Wild West ghost town with a supernatural reputation. Legend says anyone who takes anything from Bodie will be cursed with bad luck until they return it. Imagine a Mediterranean paradise, completely empty and fenced off by soldiers. Varosha was evacuated in 1974 during the Turkish invasion and remains a ghost resort frozen in time. In Chile's Atacama Desert lie the skeletal remains of the nitrate industry. When synthetic nitrate was invented, these thriving mining towns collapsed overnight, leaving perfectly preserved ruins. Perched on an Italian hilltop, the medieval ghost town of Krakow looks like a fantasy novel come to life. After surviving centuries of siege and plague, unstable ground finally forced its abandonment in the 1980s. In the forest outside Berlin stands a hospital complex with a truly dark past. Once treating tuberculosis patients, it later housed a young Adolf Hitler and became the largest Soviet military hospital outside the USSR. Deep in the Arctic Circle sits Pyramiden, a former Soviet mining town with the world's northernmost Lenin statue. Abandoned in 1998, it's a perfectly preserved communist time capsule watched over only by polar bears. On Turkey's coast, hundreds of stone houses sit empty, telling a story of forced exile. In 1923, the entire Greek population was forced to relocate, leaving behind a village of silent stones. Some abandoned places are spectacularly reclaimed by nature, like this Chinese fishing village. Abandoned in the 1990s, Hutuwan is now a lush, verdant carpet, a vision of what Earth might look like if humanity vanished. Hidden in New York's East River lies an island with a dark medical history. Once home to Typhoid Mary and a quarantine hospital, it's now a forbidden bird sanctuary, completely overgrown and off-limits. 15 journeys into the heart of silence, 15 stories written in dust and decay. So after seeing all these hauntingly empty landscapes, I have to ask you, would you dare to visit any of these creepy places?